All right. Good morning. Welcome. I'm trying to see we're having some technical difficulties, but I think we got it now. Can you hear me? Welcome, Sister Candace. Welcome. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. If you're watching it on the replay, play. Apple, swipe to the right, share. Android, swipe from the bottom to the top. Like Drake says, share from the bottom to the top. We're going to get started here in about a minute. Oh yeah, we getting started with that this morning. I don't think y'all know about that. All right, share. Good morning, Meerkat. Good morning. Let's share. All right, who is that? That is a friend of our leader, teaching guide. That is Young Thug. Young Thug, Sister Young Thug. All right, welcome, Bliss. Good morning. Let's share, brothers and sisters. Let's share. We're going to get started in less than a minute. What? All right. Let's go. Let's get started. All right, from Young Thug to the Temptations, standing on the top. Go ahead, let's share. All right, get excited. You should get excited when you're talking about money. Good morning, Nicole. You should get excited when you come to a place where they're going to talk about money and how to empower you in a very real way. Not just go get a job and make more money and raise your lifestyle, but information that you can use to empower yourself, your family, and your community. All right, 30 seconds. Let's share. I need for everybody present to share. That is your price for admission. Good morning, Meerkat. Good morning. All right. Good morning. Gonna get started here in about 30 seconds. Let's share. Thank you, Bliss. All right, well, welcome. First time on the scope, you guys. Let's welcome her. Let's welcome Nicola. This is her first time. Let's welcome her. Show Nicola some love. Somebody at Nicola. Go ahead and hear it on her Twitter. Pop it back up again, Nicola. There you go. All right. There it is. Go ahead and hit her and show her some love at K Nicola 1. Show us some love, you guys. On the top. Thank you, Sister Candace. Thank you. Let's show us some love. She's brand new. You're in for a treat, so get ready. 10 seconds and counting. Bliss. Share it. Thank you for sharing, Nicola. Thank you. First time and she's sharing already. Haven't even got started. She hadn't even gotten the content yet and she's sharing. That's what I'm talking about. We need more folks like Nicola on this stream. Go ahead and let's double up. Thank you, Bliss. Thank you, Green Tea. All right, money on the top getting down. That's Rick James right there, y'all. Let's go ahead and get the real party started. The real party is talking about that money, that financial empowerment. That's what the real getting party is. Good morning, Meerkat. Good morning, AUC. Emerging Real Estate Markets. All right, bought that book back in 2008, brothers and sisters. All right. This ain't my first rodeo. All right, there we go. Turned around. Good morning. All right, welcome, everybody. For those that don't know me, my name is DarrellMuhammad, real estate investor, mentor, coach, trainer, entrepreneur, business brother, businessman, sales and marketing professional and expert, online, offline marketing, network marketer, and also former stock broker. We just want to, hey, good morning, everybody. We just want to come to you this morning, as we always do every morning, and share with you what I've been able to learn over the last 30 years from God knows how many different teachers and mentors. over the last 30 years. So my goal is to look for folks like myself so we can network and we can unite and do some powerful things together. Because our goal and our success in 2016 will be based on unity and collaboration. That's what the world is doing. That's what everybody that has an idea that this thing is going down, if you will. So only the foolish try to do things by themselves when the winds are blowing, all right? So we want to come to you, brothers and sisters, share this content with you to prick your consciousness so you can go out and get what you need to empower yourself, your family, and most importantly, our black community. No matter how much money you have, brothers and sisters, you're not detached from who you are and who you represent when people just look at you. All right? All right? So let's make sure we're clear about that. So this live stream is to give it to you straight, no chaser. All right? If you have love in your heart for yourself and your people, then we welcome you. Everybody else other than that will be blocked from this stream, okay? Because we're not here to play. You have better things to do. I definitely have better things to do. So that's what we're about here. So we talk about the money game, learning the rules to play the money game to win and not to lose. Brothers and sisters, it's apparent that we've been playing by the wrong rules. So I want to do my best to share what I've learned and what I know that works, not theory. Is it legal to hand off a purchase agreement? Well, we'll answer those questions. Hold on, Junior, whatever. Hold on to that question. That's a good question, all right? So let's talk about the money game. Your top 3 enemies to the money game. That's what we're talking about today. Oh, housekeeping. All right, here's what I want you to do. If you like this message, go to DarrellMuhammad.net. I put the subscription box up. So hit one of the blog posts you'll see at the bottom. Subscribe, all right? So if you like this message and you're a doer and not a talker, you're not afraid to risk your time, energy, and money for a goal bigger than yourself, right? Then go to DarrellMuhammad.net, hit one of the posts, and subscribe. All right, look around. We got some good stuff. We got a reading list for you, some books that I highly recommend. Anywhere on social media, you'll find me by my name, Darrell Muhammad. Periscope, Twitter, Darrell Muhammad fan page at Facebook, and we are now on Snapchat. Y'all need to get with Snapchat, all right? Thank you so very much, Nicola. That's it, DarrellMuhammad.net. Hey, you guys, let's share, because, you know, I've been talking to some folks, and, you know, this information, the way we deliver it, and the amount of information we share, you don't get anywhere else. All right, see you on Snapchat, Nicola. All right, you don't get it anywhere else, brothers and sisters, and that's intentionally, right? That's intentional, and we do it intentionally. That's why we say hashtag black dollars, hashtag black wealth, hashtag black economy. Because that's what time it is. That's what we're about. Okay? That's what we're about. So if you're about that, you're right. You're at the right place. If you're just about you, yourself, in a selfish way, then that's not what we're about here. But if you're about those hashtags, then welcome, and go to DarrellMuhammad.net. Hit one of the posts, subscribe, and you'll be on a special list where twice a month we have private live events, conference calls, and or webinars. All right, we had our first one, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We're going to have a couple of, at least 1 or 2 in February. Got a tight schedule, but we'll have 1 or 2 in February. So let's go ahead and get into the content. Brothers and sisters, we always have to keep in mind the main thing to win the money game is that we have to understand the money, right? We have to understand money. Not making money, not spending money, not saving money. All those are components, right? But we have to understand money, right? The money itself, the money. Not how it's used, but understand it and how it operates. It was just called its intrinsic value, its intrinsic worth, its intrinsic nature, right? What is the purpose of money? What is it supposed to do? You know, all these kind of things. So many times we don't spend enough time understanding something before we get involved in it. On the very basic fundamental level, we want to hurry up and get to how do I make $20,000, $30,000 a month? How do I do this? How do I do that? But we need to understand the basic fundamentals of money. excuse me, we have to understand the nature of money. Money, brothers and sisters, is meant to stay in motion, is meant to flow. That's why it's called cash flow. Cash flow, right? That's a business term. Robert Kiyosaki said that's the most important term to a business owner is cash flow. Now, employees call it income. Business owners call it cash flow. Why? Because it's constantly flowing in every day that your business doors are open. When your employee is not constantly flowing in, right? It comes in once or twice a month, but it does not constantly flow in. So money has to keep flowing. It's called cash flow. It's also called what? Currencies. Currency, right? Currency, right? That's energy. That's flow. That means the flow to keep things flowing. So we have to understand these very basic things when it comes to money. If not, we'll hit and miss, and we'll always struggle to win at the money game because we don't understand that money has to keep flowing. So if we understand that, we understand that there's always investors, there's professionals investors in the marketplace that has money parked somewhere that's itching a hole in their pocket because they understand the money game. They understand that the money has to keep flowing. And if you and I don't understand that as a basic principle, then we'll park money somewhere, right? We'll park it somewhere. Or we'll keep it flowing out, but we don't have it flowing in fast enough. So these are the basic things we have to understand. Now, to get the most out of money, we have to keep money moving. Moving, right? Still money costs money. Still money sitting around, doing nothing. How do we keep it flowing? You keep it flowing. We're going to talk about that. Good question, Nicola. She's her first day here, and she's sharing and asking questions. She's engaged. She understands how social media is supposed to work. All right? So we're going to talk about that. So we have to understand that still money costs you money. Still money loses value, meaning it's just sitting there. I understand savings, and we've gone into that, and we'll go into that more in the future. But we have to understand these things. Because if we understand it, then we'll understand that money is the seed and not the harvest. Somebody put that in there, because when I thought about that and that came to mind, that really rung with me. That was like an aha moment. Money is the seed, not the harvest. Too many times we as black people, we think that the money is the harvest and not the seed. Thank you, Sister Candace. See, if we understand money and how it's used and understand its nature, we'll understand that money is the seed, not the harvest. Now, when you think of seed, you know seed is the essence from which something comes from, right? And whatever comes from it, based on what kind of seed it is, it can provide shade, shelter, somewhere to live for birds, somewhere to hide for animals, right? But for human beings, since we don't live in trees, we need to be planting seeds that can grow and produce the reality that we want, right? So the seed is all about production, right? It produces a harvest at a farm so that we can eat from. Now, the challenge with that is because we don't understand the dynamics, the very basic dynamics is that money is a seed and not the harvest. We think it's the harvest. And what do you do with a harvest? What do you do with the vegetables that are grown in the garden or grown at a farm? What do you do with the potatoes? What do you do? Right? Miser, you got to go. What do? We eat it. Right, exactly. We consume it. Right? So if we don't understand these basic dynamics, then by fault we become what? Nothing more than what? Consumers. That's why black people are almost 100% consumers. Consumers. Dennis Kimbrough says in his book that you can get at DarrellMuhammad.net, hit more in the book list. You can get his book called, I think it's called Wealth Choices, right? Wealth Choices. In the beginning of the book, he talks about 1.8 million black businesses in America. 1.8 million. 1.7 million are sole proprietorships, which means they have no employees, and their gross revenues is right at over $21,000 a year. Just think about that for a moment. So we're almost 100% consumers here. Go ahead and share it, brothers and sisters. We need to get our numbers back up. It dropped a little bit. All right? This information is too needed and too powerful for us not to share it and people not to stay on it. Right? See, that's the interesting thing about it. We always got something better to do than to learn what we need to learn about money. Now, we'll sit around all day to learn how to make it. But hold it and keep it and find out what the 3 top enemies are to you winning the money game. We don't have time for that. Darrell's taking too long. It's 15 minutes in and I got to go. In order to win at the money game, brothers, so you and I have to understand this will require sacrifice. Not based on your surplus, not based on your extra, not based on what you want to do. It's based on your willing to sacrifice day in and day out. You're going to have to make some tough choices. Do I do this or do I learn what I need to learn about winning the money game? So, right, we're consumers. We're almost 100% consumers. It's because we don't understand the basic fundamentals to money. Not, just the basic nature of money. Just the basic nature of money. It's a seed. It's not the harvest. So what do? You ask Nicola, what do you do? What I do is I'm always on the lookout. I'm always on the lookout for somewhere to plant my money. Somewhere to plant my money. It doesn't mean I'm always planting. It means I'm always looking to plant. Right? But these streams are designed so we can wipe our eyes out, so we can see clearer, so we can start now recognizing and seeing places of possibilities to plant. All right? Possibilities. See, you got to condition your eyes. You have to condition your mind for opportunities. Condition your mind, your eyes for opportunities. That's what we have to do. And the more you look, Nicola, then the better your eyes will. The better your eyes will be in recognizing opportunities, recognizing fertile ground to plant your money. Right? You start off, not seeing good opportunities. You look closer and it's not good. Right? It's not good. All right? Candace, go ahead and block those people, if you will. Candace, we talked about that. Go ahead and block those knuckleheads. All right? So that's what we're talking about. Oh, you did? Thank you. All right? So that's what we're talking about. See, we serious around here, brothers and sisters. We not playing with people, all right? We're building a community of serious people that'll look our enemies in the face and don't blink. When I was coming up, they used to have a saying, whoever blinked first loses. So I used to have staring contests with people. Right? Just firm-faced staring contests. And that's what we have to get back to today. All right? All right, so your eyes become clearer. Your eyes become better. Right? Your focus, your attention. You've heard the example before when you start liking a certain kind of car, a certain kind of, purse or something like that, hairstyle, right? You start looking at it, you start thinking about it. You start recognizing it every chance you get. And before you know it, you notice it's everywhere. You notice it's everywhere. That's how it is when it comes to opportunity. That's how it works when it comes to anything. You have to first condition your mind, right? Saturate your conscious and your subconscious mind with a certain type of thinking. Specific kind of thinking. And then you start recognizing it everywhere. Ever since I started test driving Range Rovers, and I got some pictures on my wall here in the office. Now everybody got Range Rovers, right? Everybody. But there were Range Rovers there before. I just didn't recognize them, okay? So open your eyes, and that's what we need to do. Now, that doesn't mean you're always planning. It means you're always looking. You're always looking. Now, here's the thing. If you can't find somewhere to possibly plant your money, your seed, right? They say it in the church. You see those televangelists that are prosperity preachers, right? Send your seed. They're talking about that money, right? Send your seed in sow a seed into our ministry, right? Well, you have to sow your seed into your own personal ministry. You have to sow the seed into your community, right, brother? So that's what it's all about. You'll never be detached from your community. You'll never be detached from that which you've come from. And God chose you to come from that community, and he probably knows best what's for us, all right? So if you can't find somewhere to plant your seed of money, then you're not looking hard enough, right? Or maybe your mind's not conditioned enough to recognize it. So you need to get you some books, right? Get you some books. I got books, you know, them rappers talking about racks on top of racks on top of racks. I got books on top of books on top of books that I can just reach right here on my desk. I don't have to get up and go to my calendar or my library or anything like that. But if you want me to do that, I can do that too. I got books all over here. There's books that this meerkat, there you go, racks on racks. Books that I got, that meerkat is standing on. I got books. Here's a box of books. All right, here's a box of books, brothers and sisters. Box of books. Right? If anything, I got too many books. I got enough books. See, I balance out the equation. Between me and those of us who don't have books and don't read books, I balance that out. The universe always balances itself out. Remember that, okay? So here it is. We're running, we got about 10 more minutes. Let's go ahead and get into your top 3 enemies. Top 3 enemies. We're going to try to cover as much as we can, but this really, I'm going to set more of this, I'm going to set it aside for those that want to take the next step, who want to continue in this conversation, who want to take action, right? Get off the sideline of your own life and get in the game of your own life. That requires action. For those that want to take action and learn more about these 3 enemies, these 3 top enemies to you winning at the money game, you got to go to DarrellMuhammad.net, hit one of the posts, read it, and subscribe. That's the only way that you're going to get the rest of this information, and more importantly, what to do about it, right? Once you identify the threat, once you identify the enemy, the next thing to do is how do I neutralize it? And how do I make progress in spite of the obstacles, in spite of my enemy? All right? So here they are. You ready? Somebody get ready to put that in the live stream. Hey, money is the seed, not the harvest. Thank you, Sean Osby. All right. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. And thank you for restreaming. If you guys have any questions, we're going to open up for questions in about 6 minutes. And I want to hear from you. All right? And the brother asked a question about, I forgot it was, Jonah B, or whatever the brother's name is. Excuse me for messing that up. But go ahead and get ready to ask the question. Let's go ahead and share and restream, because here's what we all been waiting for. Your 3 top enemies to win in the money game. All right? Not in particular order, but just know these are the top 3. All right? It's all right. Yeah, stay tuned, Junior. All right? Here's what it is. Number 1 is interest. Number 2 is taxes. Number 3 is inflation. Somebody put that in the feed. Your 3 top enemies. Your 3 top enemies to you and I winning at the money game is interest, taxes, and inflation. Jay, thank you very much. All right? That's your 3 top enemies, brothers and sisters. Interest. All right? Money, you're going to be borrowing money, right? Or using money. As you learn to play the money game, we talked about leverage. You're going to be using money or borrowing money. So you're going to pay interest. Interest, taxes, and inflation. Absolutely, Green Tea. Those are 3 enemies. 3 enemies to you winning. All right? They're out there. We're in a jungle. All right? The money game is like a jungle, and they're out there lurking and waiting. So if we understand how interest, taxes, and inflation are enemies, then our goal would be to neutralize them, right? Interest is basically the price you pay for money. The price you pay for money. You got a car. If you didn't pay cash, you're paying a price for the money to buy the car, to borrow, to pay off, to borrow the money to get the car, right? If you own a home or real estate, same thing. Very few people pay cash for cars, cash for real estate, or cash for any major purchase. And God forbid if you're doing these rent-to-own for furniture and TVs and things of that nature. But now we start understanding the trap. Credit cards, right? Credit cards, see? So if you understand how interest is the enemy, right? The scriptures say, be the lender, not the borrower. Why? Because the borrower is going to pay, I've done it never again, right? The borrower is going to pay interest on money. Interest on money. Now, see, the problem with these three is they're separate, but they're combined. They're three enemies that work together to erode your money, to take money from you. Because interest needs money for itself, right? Taxes need money for itself, and inflation needs money for itself. See, when you look behind these three areas, there are entities behind those three areas. There's someone collecting 18% interest. It's not some mystery something. It's actually something physical. Taxes, it's actually something physical. It's the government. It's the local government. Inflation, that's real. See, these things are real. You don't see them. I talked about that before, right? The difference between economic justice and social justice. Economics is hard because it's unseen, right? It's unseen, and by the time you see it, it's too late, right? By the time you see, a store in your neighborhood, it's there already. It's already sucking money out of our community. So they work together, brothers and sisters, and that's the dangerous part about it. So once you understand interest, you start looking at how much you paying for money. How much you're paying for money. Then if you're not playing the money game, don't know how to play it, and you're not planting your money in the fertile ground where it can produce some more money, because a orange seed produces oranges. A lemon seed produces lemon. So a money seed is supposed to produce what? More money, right? More money. Okay? See, those are just basic dynamics. So if I'm paying all this money out on interest, and I'm not planting my money seed in fertile ground so it can produce more money, that's how you're losing at the money game. That's how you're playing by the wrong rules. Right? You're using the same rules, but you're using it as a borrower and not a lender, as the Bible says. So interest. All right? I like to see more money work. Yeah. See, that's what it's about. All right? Interest. Understanding that interest, as a borrower, as a consumer, as a person that doesn't understand the rules to the money game, interest is your enemy. Now, you lending money, interest is your friend. But I'm not talking to those kind of people. I'm talking to us in our community. And our community does not understand interest, taxes, and inflation. And anything you don't understand, you can't use it to your benefit. All right? So number 2, taxes. Taxes. Robert Kiyosaki says poor and middle class people pay up to 60% of their money goes to taxes. Taxes. Excessive interest is usury. Excessive interest. Well, some people say interest is usury, but yeah, it can be pretty excessive, right? So in Islam, we don't charge interest, we charge fees, right? But those can't be to the extreme, right? The scripture says too much of anything is not good. So too much of fees is not good, right? So taxes, up to 60% of taxes, up to 60% of taxes that the middle and poor people pay. This just say poor and middle class people. All of us trying to get to the middle class, right? Very few of us really, we say we want to get to rich, but we haven't even got to really high middle class yet, or middle class yet. Right? And only a very few of us will get out of the middle class, especially if we don't know the rules to the money game to win and not to lose, and not just know them, but use them every day for centuries. That's right, I said centuries. For centuries. Not a week, not just enough so you can make you get up over this hump. No, we're not talking about that, right? So taxes. The biggest tax in many cases is federal income tax, right? So not understanding what we need to do to flip the switch, to flip it, then taxes become our enemy instead of taxes becoming our friend. All right? taxes becoming our friend. That's enemy number 2. Now we're going to go more into details on these and what you need to do to turn it around to make those 3 things your friend. Right? To make those things your friend. Because just understand this, brother. Says whoever's your enemy, that enemy is a friend to somebody else. Because they have a different relationship to that we call enemy. Right? That's why they're our enemy. So understand that's how it is with these rules. See, they're the same rules in most cases. In many cases, it's just our relationship to the rules make them our enemy. Food can become your enemy, but God didn't create food to be your enemy. It's our relationship to food that makes food our enemy. All right? See, these simple, plain philosophies and truths that just pierce through everything. That's what we're bringing here on these live streams, brother. So that's why you're not going to get this hardly anywhere else, because most people speak just specifically to whatever it is they're talking about. They don't show you the silver lining of truth that runs from one end to another and crosses various different topics and subjects. Okay? That's the power. That's why you need to be here. That's why you need to share. You need to watch the replay. You need to share it on the replay. And if you like what you hear, you need to go to DarrellMuhammad.net and subscribe, because this is just a surface. As my one of my mentors, Edwin Haynes, says, he says, we haven't even scratched the scratch. We haven't even scratched the scratch. So, number 3, that's number 2. Taxes. Number 3 is inflation. Inflation. We know what inflation is. Inflation really is the devaluation of the dollar. Inflation is the cost of things are going up and the value of the dollar is going down. That's inflation. 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 It's inflating. The cost of things are going up, but your value of your dollar is going down because it's not going up. It's remaining the same, but in truth, it goes down because you and I should know through basic science that, nothing remains the same. It's always constantly changing. So nothing is really standing still. Everything is moving, right? Either towards life or towards death. So see this again, currency again. See, flow again, right? See what I'm saying? So we're going against the universal laws and principles by holding on to money too long. And that don't mean you don't hold on to it and you just let it go and you don't know where it went. That's not being responsible. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about planting the seed of money in fertile ground so it can produce a harvest of like kind, which is the multiplication of the money. So we can do greater and greater and greater things for ourselves, our family, and our community, so we can empower ourselves, our family, and our community. So we can be more independent, right? More financially free, more economically free and solvent, right? And stop having other people come in and be the source of our money, right? So, inflation. When I was a stockbroker, brothers and sisters, we always used the number 4% inflation. But that's the number for the masses of the people. Those that understand the money game, how to play it to win, understand that is not a real number. Inflation has not been and cannot continue to stay 4% as it has been used for many, many years in the financial service industry when everything else around us is going up in price, right? Food, shelter, clothing, medical, education has all gone up, in some cases, double-digit figures. So how can inflation and the rule of thumb we use for inflation be 4%? That's a trick. I'm just here to tell you, brother. So that's a trick. That's a trick that has been used. But those that understand and know don't use that number. That's not a real number, right? Winning at the money game is only as beneficial to you and I to the extent that we use real money, that we use real numbers, that we don't lie, we don't fudge, right? We don't put on rose-colored glasses so things can look better. Things look better than what they actually are. Okay, so those are your top 3 enemies to winning at the money game until we learn the rules. All right, until we learn the rules and make things happen. Until we can learn the rules and change the relationship with these three things and make them our friend. Yes, there's a way to make inflation your friend. Yes, there's a way to make the IRS Uncle Sam your friend. And yes, there's ways in which that you can make interest your friend. But until we understand, until we learn those ways, until we implement those ways, then by default they will become your enemy. There is no middle ground, brothers and sisters. We're either losing or we're winning. There is no middle ground. We either learn and have our relationships change to make these enemies our friend, or they're automatically going to be our enemy and we're going to lose. All right? So that's our message for today. If you have any questions, brother, ask that question again. We're here every day, Monday through Fridays, 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. If you like the message, go to DarrellMuhammad.net. Hit one of my blog posts. And put your information in there, and you'll get on a special VIP list. And we have live events twice, sometimes 3 times a month, where we delve more deeply into these concepts and give you step-by-step ways that you can use them. All right, to empower you, your family, and your community. Is it illegal to hand off a purchase agreement? I live in Texas. I don't understand when you say hand off a purchase agreement. Well, here's what you need to understand, and we learned this in my training system here, wholesaling real estate. As long as you have what they call it, not a vested interest, but as long as you're either the buyer or the seller on the purchase contract, you can sell your position. You have to either be the buyer or the seller on a purchase agreement, J. If you are the buyer or the seller, you or your company, your entity is the buyer or seller on that purchase agreement, you can hand it off. I don't know what that means. You can sell it. You can sell your position, but here's the key. Assignment. There you go, sister. Absolutely. Now, here's the thing you have to do. What's the thing that you have to put on there to make it assignable? It just can't be your name, and it never should be just your name. It should be an entity, a legal entity, right? But what does it have to have on that purchase agreement to make it assignable? Who put assign in there? Who knows the answer to that? What does it have to have? Or my assignees. Yeah, we say and or assigns. Right, sister, that's right. And or assigns. And or assigns. Some people put and assigns, but I like to put and or assigns. Because see, with the and, some people put or assigns, like she said, but I like the and or assigns. Why? Because the and means you can add somebody to it. So it can be Darrell Muhammad and Candace Muhammad. I can add her later after the contract has been signed by the seller. But if you say or, then you can't legally add her name to it. If you sent that contract with just or assigns, right? Or assigns, then a reputable title company, if you send it like that and then send an agreement, an addendum, an attachment to that agreement, say, I want to add Candace Muhammad, if they're on top their job, right? P's and Q's on top their T's, then they'll say, no, you can't do that. You can't add anybody. It says or assigns. Or I can assign it to someone. Now you can assign it to Candace. You can assign it to Jay. But that's not what you're trying to do. You're trying to add her on to the contract. So make sure you put and or assigns after your name or entity name. All right? And even if you put your name on there, you can put your name on there and then change it to your entity name later. All right? But it has to have and or assigns. All right? Good question. Anybody else? All right. It's 38 minutes after. I'll be here, as long as there's questions. But we're over. So if you guys have to go, thank you for being here. Thank you for being here, Meerkat. Go to DarrellMuhammad.net. Hit on one of the posts and look around. Some good stuff there. And we'll be adding some more. You're welcome. Where are you from? SN Hill? SN Hill? Put your name in there where you're from. So somebody might want to network with you because apparently you you know something about real estate and real estate investing, okay? But yeah, you can go to my website and my blog and check out Houston. All right, well, let's connect. I'm in Houston, sister. Hit me up. You're a realtor. All right, love realtors. I got a bonus CD, or I shouldn't say CD, a bonus module in my course called How to Work with Real Estate Agents, right? A lot of investors don't know how to work with real estate agents, and I cover on that module, I think it's module number 12, and a Riva. I don't know what that is. How to work with real estate agents. That's a skill set in and of itself. Oh, man, thank you. Okay, well, make sure you come back, Jay. We're here. Tomorrow is Friday, Freedom Friday. We talk about freedom, financial freedom, and the concept and idea of freedom. Brother says we have to understand it's not skill set. Oh, real estate virtual assistants. Thank you, Sister Candace. Appreciate that. All right. Well, shoot, we need to talk. I need to know more about that. See, it's about leverage, right? Virtual assistants. When I see that, I see leverage. Leverage. One of the rules to winning the money game. Use leverage. Other people's time, energy. We covered that yesterday. Time, energy, money, their spirit, their religion. Whatever they bring, you can leverage it. Their consciousness, their unconsciousness, their ignorance. You can use it all. All right, reach out to me, Hill. I forgot you. Did you put your name in there? Reach out to me. Just go to my blog and hit the comment section, hit the comment tab, put your information in there, and I will hit you up, all right? Because we're right here in Houston. It's about collaboration. It's about connecting. It's about, it's about coming together and identifying with people with like minds so you can do Sharonda Hill. All right, reach out to me, all right? Because I want to connect with you today, all right? Today, because we're doing some things. I'm doing some things. So we need to make some things happen, right? We need to make some things happen. So anyway, any other questions, brothers and sisters? Any other questions about what we covered today, or just questions in general? Going once, going twice. Hashtag Black Dollars, hashtag Black Wealth, hashtag Black Economy. This stream is here for those that are interested more than just themselves. Right? They're interested and they have a love to help out their community, our black community, brothers and sisters. It needs our economic expertise. We can't be a part of the problem. We have to be part of the solution. We can't talk about all the time what other people are doing, and then they, and it's really me, right? It's really me. Well, they should see if black businesses treated their customers right. It's it's not they, it's us. It's we. We don't even have a business, criticizing those who at least do have a business. Now, who can criticize who? They're getting out there and doing the best they can, right? And we waiting on, I don't know what we waiting on to do the same. At least they're out there. They threw their hat in the ring, right? Half prepared, or whatever the case may be. I guess we're waiting to get totally, perfectly prepared, but the scripture tells you and I there's no perfect time under the sun. So what perfection you waiting on? Right? What perfection you waiting on? So at least they're out there. All right. Hey, RMF61, I got your comment there on blog. All right. You just go back to my blog and hit that link and sign up for that free video series. Okay. All right. And then we'll talk a little bit later. So, brothers and sisters, that's it for today. Thank you so very much. I don't want to I'm finding myself running over and over and over. Donald Trump, what about him? All right, don't come with that foolishness, because you're going to get blocked. What about Donald Trump? Swordfish, you about to get blocked, man. We just don't do this. We'll rather apologize than ask for permission. That's another rule of the money games and those who win. They would rather apologize than ask for permission. Because nobody's going to give you permission to be financially free. Nobody's going to give you and I permission to become sovereign. Nobody's going to give us permission to take back our power. Who does that? Who's going to let you just take power away from them that they've sent their children to the best schools in America? Who send their children to the best schools? Who just going to sit by and let you and I become entrepreneurs, get out here in the marketplace, beat them at the market, in the marketplace, and they just, lose market share, which means lose money, which means lose their lifestyle, which means lose their luxury, which means lose the American dream, and just say, well, you know, I guess they're just better than me in business. No, brothers and sisters, no. See, we don't go further enough in the rabbit hole to understand what the hell is in that rabbit hole. People are not just going to sit aside, and let you do that. They'll do everything. Legally, illegally, unethical, immoral, because they see it now as survival. And when it comes down to survival, there are no rules, right? There's a saying that goes like this. There's no rules in love and war. And there's definitely no rules in war. See? So we got to understand that if you're just trying to just get you a little change and so I, and me, and I, and me, then that's going to implode. That's going to implode on you. As things get worse and worse and worse, as they will, that me, I go implode on you. And here's what's going to happen. I'll leave you with this note. You have to understand how God works in his laws and universe. They say you reap what you sow, the scripture says. If you don't sow good, you're not going to reap good. If you don't sow compassion to people when they're in need, which is our community, so then when it imposes on you, when you find yourself in need and you cry out and nobody comes to your help, don't ask why. Just know that you have not sown enough, planted enough seed, right, of compassion, not judgment, of compassion with other people to now you're in need and you cry out and now you mad at everybody, including God, because nobody came to help you. You got to ask yourself the question, how much have I sown? And now I'm trying to reap the harvest. And I haven't planted enough to reap a harvest. And the reason is because, brothers and sisters, some seeds will grow. Some seeds will germinate. Some seeds won't. Some won't make it through the struggle to live and survive. Only a percentage of seeds planted grow. So you can't look for a 1-on-1 ratio in planting of your seed. Because if you do, then you don't understand the rules to the money game to win. By default, you only know the rules on how to lose. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, we'll see you tomorrow, God willing, for Freedom Friday. And as always, we'll see you at the top, not from the top, because you, your family, but most importantly, our community needs your very best. Plant your money in the fertile ground. Keep looking. Your eyes will become better and sharper, and then you'll start recognizing the good opportunities from the bad. So we'll see you tomorrow, brothers and sisters. Take care. God bless. All right, Meerkat, that's it. Hopefully you like that, Living Sheik. Thank you so much.